Visitors to the Museum of London this lunchtime have been met by a flashmob stunt with a bit of a difference. Forget silent discos or a Michael Jackson-inspired thriller dance-off. Black, Asian, minority ethnic museum workers gathered to highlight what's described as the failure of the capital's cultural centres to attract enough non-white audiences. Sarah Rajid is the founder of the group behind the event, Museum Detox, and pleased to say joins me, along with one of the stunt's organisers, Peju Oshin. Lovely to have you both with us.
Thank you.
Sarah, starting with you, tell us how this stunt worked. What did you do?
Well, we organised for lots of Black, Asian, minority ethnic people to join us at the Museum of London this morning at 11, and then we armed them with multicultural historical facts about London, and they swarmed into the museum and shared these facts with strangers just to change the atmosphere of the museum a little bit today and loosen it up, because sometimes museums can be a bit stiff. And then they took pictures of themselves, selfies, and tweeted them using the hashtag, and sort of flooded the Museum of London's Twitter with lots of pictures of people of colour in the museum today. And then we gathered together, did a big chant outside the Punks exhibition and said, you have been flashmobbed by Museum Detox, and all the little kids were holding up their banners, and we shared that.
When you think of flash mobs, you do think of dancers, you think of people freezing in train stations and kind of, you know, those odd stunts that make people think twice. Peju, what sort of response did you get from passers-by?
So I think it was absolutely amazing that so many of us were in that space today. I think when we first did gather, and this is one of the reasons why we had some people that sort of looked at us with a little bit of confusion, seeing so many brown faces in one place. But I think this was a great response to that, to show people that we can take ownership of these spaces and we are welcome to come to the museum.
Talking of the idea behind this, the concept behind organising this, how much of a real concern is there that there aren't enough non-white people going to cultural centres in the capital?
It's a major issue. In London, we've got a massive growing multicultural audience and population, and the people who work in museums, run them and direct them, are not reflecting that audience. And the people who use museums are also not reflecting that audience. And that matters, because history matters to us, it matters to our identity, it matters to where we're going in the future. So the fact that non-white people are not feeling comfortable or not feeling that museums are useful or exciting enough for them is a real issue, it's a real barrier.
How much of the cause of that, Peju, do you think is because the people running these organisations aren't, as you say, reflective of London?
I think that does play quite a big part of that, because I think, especially because I like to work with young people quite a lot, I think particularly for young people, when they are going to museum spaces and they don't see things that reflect their everyday lives, and that is potentially due to the fact that people that look like them don't work in those spaces, to be able to sort of curate those collections, to bring them in, I think that plays a major part in why these people are not coming to these spaces.
In recent years in London, we've had the Black Cultural Archives in Brixton launched various exhibitions within galleries that reflect London's ethnic makeup. Is that where we start to make a change?
We do start to make a change with exhibitions and displays, and us as Museum Detox, we are Black, Asian, minority ethnic workers who work in museums. We are museum workers. Peju and I work at museums in London, and there's 100 of us in the network, and we are sort of reaching out to people like us to say, we actually are here. You might not see us because we're not directors of these museums, but there are Black curators at the Natural History Museum, like Miranda Lowe, who's a principal curator there, has been there 25 years. Do people know that there's a Black woman who's one of the top curators at the Natural History Museum? I'm not sure they do, so we take it upon ourselves to sort of say, you can join these careers. These careers are not impossible careers. Not everybody who works in a museum looks like Lucy Worsley, lovely as she is. You know, we are Black, we are Asian, we are queer, we are working class. We're much more diverse, and there are exciting opportunities and careers to be had in these organisations. And you then, in turn, are in a position to change the stories that are being told to the whole citizenry of London and make sure that they reflect that.